Hey, welcome to step 2. So now we're ready to start putting some color on our loom, and we're going to begin weaving. And to do this, I'm going to use the yarn skeins. If there are no cut pieces, I'm going to look to the center inside the yarn skein to find the tail. I don't want to unwrap the outside. See, this one's on the outside. That makes a lot of knotting and other trouble. So if I don't see an end, oh, look, there it is. I'm just going to grab hold of it and pull. Okay, that's not working. So, oh, here it comes. Okay, now I'm going to trim this. Now the next person will be able to find that easily, and I'm going to go ahead and work with this little bit that was stuck up in the middle. Sometimes it gets a little tangled even in manufacturing. So I'm going to cut myself a reasonable length, which is usually about from my fingertips to my armpit. This yarn is kind of stretchy, you can see. I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to open the scissors, put the bottom through the loop, and pull tight, and then squeeze so it cuts nice and cleanly. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach my warp thread, which is what's holding onto my loom, to my weft thread, and that's the one I'm going to be weaving with. So I'm going to be sliding it under the outside string, and it doesn't matter to me which end you start on, but as long as it's one of the outside strings. I'm going to again make that loop. I'm going to stick the end through the loop and pull. Now, this should be so that I have a little short end and a really long end, not so it's half and half. It's not like tying a shoelace. Okay? Now I've gone all the way over this first string, so now I can start to choose. Sometimes I like to do this with a pencil, so let me grab a pencil. It just kind of helps me when these strings are a little closer together. So I'm going to turn my loom around this way. I've gone all the way over this one, so I'm going to pretend like I went under, over, under, over, under, over. Now I've got this nice gap, so I can go ahead and put my string through. I'm going over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay? I'm going to pull it all the way through, not tight because I don't want it to start to squeeze together and get real skinny. That'll make you a pencil case, and you'll be able to fit one pencil in it instead of a pouch that you can fit something quite a bit wider in. Now, once I turn around and come the other way, I've got to think about what did I do on the last row. Well, I went over this one, so now I have to turn around and go under, over, under, over, under, over. And I just like to use the pencil to pick those up, and you can see what the pencil does is it lifts up all the ones that I'm going under, and it pushes down all the ones I'm going over. So I can just slide my yarn neatly through like that. Now for some people, this is not faster, this is not convenient, but it's going to start to be opposite. Now I went under this last one, so now I've got to go over. If you're one of those people that just likes to weave by lifting the strings, over, under, over, under, over, under, you can certainly do that. Okay? Now, you may be using this very thin yarn. You may be using some thicker yarn. That's okay too. I prefer the thin yarn for the pouch because it makes a tighter weave and it's more secure when you put your objects in it. Okay, so this last one I went over it, so I've got to turn around and go under it, and then over and under, over and under, over and under. Honestly, it feels like I'm doing a whole lot of nothing when I go over a string, but I'm always paying attention to which ones I go under. Okay? When I get about a finger's length, a good knot tying length, I'm going to add another color or more of the same color if you want. If you want the whole thing to be yellow with just a little bit of a different color, or just two colors, or whatever design pattern you choose or have sketched in your idea book. Okay, so that's about a good knot tying length. So I'm going to take my blue. I'm going to pull a little bit of the string here. Remember, I'm going to measure it. You can't see my shoulder, but it's there. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit so I don't accidentally cut more than what I want. Make the loop, pull tight, snip. I'm going to tie this knot side by side, I'm going to make a loop like the, like the breast cancer or the troops ribbon, the memory ribbons. So it's going to cross over like an X, like this. I'm going to take the ends and stick them through the loop and pull and slide that knot towards the end. Okay? Once I've done that, I'm just going to keep weaving like this. Whoops. Until, I got to help that knot through just a little bit. Notice I'm not tugging, it's staying the same width all the way through, pushing it down towards the bottom. That's called packing it. That's what I call it sometimes, is to pack it down so that the weaving is nice and tight. Think about a sweater and how loopy a sweater can be. If it's not tight, then sometimes you have to wear something under it. So. All right, I went under it here. I'm going to go over and under, over and under, over and under. Again, you can use the pencil if that helps you. Okay, now I'm going to get close to this knot. At the end, I'll worry about all these little tails, whether I like them or don't like them, if I want to add more or if I want to trim these off. But right now, I'm just not worried about those. My first goal is to get this filled all the way to the top. Here I go back across, over and under. And I think you've got the idea. That knot is going to be where the knot wants to be. We're just going to keep going back and forth. So I'm under. Now I've got to go over the same thread under the next one. And so on, over and under, turn around and go back the whole way. Until you start seeing the weaving appear and the weft threads. You see only the weft threads. The warp threads are disappearing. So this color doesn't matter at all. You can see it's completely disappearing down here. So, all right, and you're off on step 2.